Hey guys, Tyler at North 40 Fly Shop in Coeur d'Alene. We're doing a fly tying segment today, and today we're going to be doing a favorite hopper pattern of mine, Bullethead hopper. Foam body here, extended body. I like using Rainey's Evisoap for that. Creates a nice contoured shape back there. Got your classic rubber legs here for the legs. Leave them a little bit long for a little bit more motion. Cool, realistic fly, floats good. We're coming into our hopper season here pretty soon. I'd say probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're in the latter part of June right now. We've been getting a lot of warmer weather, so our terrestrials should start taking off here pretty soon. Love pairing this guy up with a beetle, which we're also going to do another video on that here too. You know, so a small basic black beetle behind this guy. Kick it up against the banks, twitch it out. Great pattern. I'll tie this, I like this fly on a little bit bigger gaped hook, which we're doing a B10S by Gamakatsu on here. Kind of gets that hook more exposed. You know, if you guys decide to do it on a traditional dry fly hook or something like that, by the time you get all the material on there, the foam and everything, it starts closing up that gape on the hook, and when the fish come up to grab it, there's not as much hook exposed there. So a little bit bigger gape on the hook really seems to help the hookup ratio when you guys are out hopper fishing. Twitch these a lot. Get those legs to flex a little bit when you guys are fishing out there, and you'll see some really explosive results with that. But cool looking fly, and let's show you how to tie it. Alright guys, so here we go. We're going to show you how to tie the Bullethead foam hopper here. So get our hook dressed. Put a nice layer of thread down first, and we're using some heavier duty 210 denier thread, or like a 3/0 would work fine. So we're going to come up, we're going to leave about the about half of the hook open here on the front. So come to about the midway point, and we're going to get our foam prepped. And if you guys can see, I've got a little bit of a taper, compound taper going here. So thick at each end and narrow in the middle. So we're going to fold that. That's going to give us a little bit of a nice taper there. So put the foam on each side of the hook here. Go ahead and secure it down. Bring the hook thread back a little bit. We're going to make the first segment, make it kind of thicker. That's what I like about this Evisoap. It really makes a nice round shape. And then when we come up to do our segments here, keep a hold of your foam back here with your left hand and bring your thread over top to make your crossover versus underneath, and I'll show you why that makes a difference here in a little bit. Coming around, just give that a little bit of a cinch. It's going to make that foam a little bit rounder. Again, come over top, gonna make another segment. There we go. Only doing a couple wraps for each segment here because we're going to come back down the body on the way back. Okay, and then back over top. And the reason we want to do that over the top there, guys, is that's going to get hidden on the top there by our wing here in a minute. And that way when you guys look underneath, it's nice and clean. You guys can kind of taper this up a little bit. Go ahead and taper this in here. Another quick check. Bring your thread underneath here a few times, and that'll kind of help lock in that foam a little bit better. A little bit of zap-a-gap there would work too. Alright, so get our body tied in. That looks good. Next we're going to do our overwing. We got our thin skin, kind of a mottled, I think this one's called the Golden Stone, but it looks like a good hopper wing. And I cut it a little bit thicker, so it's going to kind of fold over the top of the foam like that, guys. So keep it a little wider. Get it measured. Go ahead and tie this guy in. Just like that. Lash her down good. Okay. Next we're going to do a little bit of brown cow elk here. And tie in a little bit of a wing first. We don't want it real long here, just a little bit of a touch of a wing. maybe about half the length of the body here. And again, if you guys notice, I'm leaving open that front portion there because we're going to do our bullet head up there here in a minute. Bring your thread forward almost up to the eye. And for the bullet head, guys, they're a little tricky if you're new to fly tying. That's why I'm using a little bit thicker thread here. It's going to really help with that. But it does take some practice. You know, don't get frustrated. Kind of walk you guys through it here, but it might take you a couple tries. The trick is you want a fair amount of hair here. If you guys look at the amount of hair, probably about twice as much as what I used for the wing. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce it down in length. So I'm going to come to the butts here and trim those up just a little bit. And then we're going to flip it around. That way the tips are facing outward. And this is where it gets a little tricky. So you got to get your fingers positioned in there. Pinch that thread where it secures it right in place, about 3 wraps, and then let it turn. Okay, and then come through with your butt ends there, tag them down. And I'll come through again with my scissors. Clean that up a little bit. Okay, now bring your thread, we'll clean this up a little bit more here. Bring your thread back a little bit. A lot of different ways, there's some different tools and whatnot to help you with this bullet head, but I found if you put your finger right here, 2 ways to do it. You can pull back, and we want to make sure that eye gets exposed, so you guys can kind of twist that a little bit, make sure your eye is cleaned up. You can do half. You can do the top first and then the bottom, but if you practice enough, you can get it all in one shot here. A couple loose wraps, smush the head down just a touch, clean up some of these guys here. A couple more soft wraps, and now let it flare. Okay, there we go. Okay, next, now for the fun part, we're going to do some legs. So I already have one prepped here, but what this is, guys, this is 2 strands of brown round rubber with a single strand of like an orange barred material, and I've knotted the orange on there. I'm going to secure this one on, then I'll show you how to knot the other one on. It's pretty simple. What I like to do is try to angle those legs up just a little bit. And if you guys look at a hopper on the water, those legs are just like that. They come up, they're not so much down. Trim that guy up, and then I'm going to leave this guy a little bit long there. Okay, secure that. Okay, next I'll show you guys how to make the legs. Pretty simple. Just do an overhand knot in the orange guy here. Okay, and then put the brown through like that. Pull pretty hard. Trim up the excess here, and then I'm going to UV glue it. Give me a second here. Came apart for a second there. Okay, we'll tie the other one, and I'll just glue it in place here so you guys can see that part. Get them matched up, about the same angle. Okay. Trim. Trim. And then we'll put our UV glue on there. Right on that knot is what you want to do. Put a pretty good amount. Didn't have much on there, so let's try it again. A little dollop. And then I'll do my thread while I'm at it here. Go and get her tied down. A little excess off of there. And then hit her with your light. There we go. And I like to leave these little short brown guys up here. You can pull them apart if you want. But there you have it. There's your extended body foam bullet head hopper. Great one for the summertime through late fall, you know, probably middle of September when the grass is still dry, maybe even into October. And a good pattern to trail this with is maybe a smaller ant or a beetle. you know, when it's nice and hot out and the wind's blowing up against a grassy bank, these are awesome. And I've been really liking these B10S stinger hooks here. Again, like I said, for the bigger gape on there, seems to stick the fish a little bit better. But there you have it. There's your Bullethead hopper. Thanks.